in here. I know you'll all be missing doing your garden, so I thought I would show you what I've been planting in my garden, and it might inspire you to get out there and get on with some gardening yourself. I know a lot of you'll be missing the UCAN garden. You grow lots of lovely stuff up there, but today I'm planting out some green beans. So here they are. Now these just came from Tesco's. I was there doing my weekly shop. I know we're not going to the shops very much at the minute, but I just got these when I was doing my normal shopping along with everything else. They're only £2, and you get lots and lots of plants. You can see that I've got about 10 or 11, 12 little plants here. So they've already been grown from seed, and you can see that they're doing quite well. They're a good size, and they're now able to cope with going outside. So they've been grown in a greenhouse, but now they're healthy enough and big enough to go outside. So I'm going to plant them into the pot that you can see behind me here. You can put that in the garden as well if you want to do, but I like to put mine in a pot. Well, they're in the garden, but in a pot rather than in the soil. So you can see, if I hold them close to the camera, you can see that they have a little flowers on them, and these little flowers are beginning to die back. And what happens when the little flower dies back, you can see it leaves behind the start of a green bean. So if I put them really close to the camera, you can probably see them there. Can you see that's the start of the little green beans? And each of them have some of those on the stems. And as the plant gets bigger, the bigger it gets, the more flowers it has. And then when the flowers die back, the more beans you have. So first of all, we're going to prepare the pot to put the beans into. So I'll show you what to do with that. Okay, so during the winter, a lot of our pots get a little bit green and a bit grubby, just with all the wind and the rain and the weather and everything. So first of all, you always make sure that your pot's nice and clean before you put anything in it, because we don't want any bacteria or any dirt or anything that is not wanted going into the pot. You only want nice soil that's clean to go in, so that your beans or whatever it is you're planting gets the best start. So we're going to clean this using a stiff brush. I'm going to get rid of all this green stuff around the edges. You can see that built up. So all the loose stuff should come off quite easily with the brush first of all. When you've done that all the way around, then what you do is get some soapy water and a sponge. I've got a bucket of water here and just a little bit of squeezy liquid, just a little amount, and give it a really good scrub and get rid of some of that. Get rid of all of that stuff that's around the inside of your pot as well as around the outside. Okay, so you do that all the way around. It shouldn't take long, so it's nice and fresh and clean. I've got another one here that I've finished that's all nice and clean, ready for our beans. So here it is, and you can see it's nice big pot there, because the beans need lots of room to grow, because they're going to grow very tall. They're going to grow about 6 foot tall, so they're going to be absolutely huge. So it needs a nice big pot so that the roots can go right down and get in amongst all the soil, and then the plants will be nice and healthy when they grow. So you probably know, oh, here's Jake going past. I've got a yellow Labrador called Jake who comes to help with the gardening, so apologies if he's coming to help with most things. Behave yourself, Jake. Here he is. So when we're getting our pot ready, one of the things that we need to do is think about things to go in the bottom. We need some stones or what we call crock. The crockery usually is, quite often we use broken pieces if your flower pots break up, or sometimes they just get smashed, and you can use the little broken bits in the bottom of your pot. Okay, we call that crock. So I'm going to put a load of bits of broken bits in there, and that helps it drain. So when the soil goes in, it doesn't just sit in the bottom and get waterlogged. The crock in the bottom will help it help the soil to drain really well, and the roots won't be soaking wet. Then they'll be quite happy. They'll be able to drain. So we've put the crock into the pot, and the next thing we need obviously is our soil. So put our soil here. So again, you can get yourself in the supermarket when along with all your other shopping that you're doing. You might have some already. So this is an all-purpose compost. If I hold that up, you can see all-purpose compost, and there it is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip it into the pot. So I'm going to tip it in. There we go. So compost is well to the top of the pot, almost to the top of the pot. But obviously we need to make room to be able to put our little plants in. So it gets a bit messy then, so I'm going to use my garden gloves. There we go. gardening gloves. Gardening gloves. Okay. Always a good idea to wear gardening gloves. There we go. Stops all the soil getting in your hand and your fingernails and things. So we've got our soil in the pot. So then what we're going to do is we're going to make a little hole for the plants to get into the soil. So you can, if I sit that forward, you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to part the soil with my hands, my fingers there, and make a nice little hole big enough to hold a plant. Okay, now when you're putting your plants in, you need to make sure that you handle them really, really carefully. So they've got a root system on them and we need to make sure we don't damage it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to very gently squeeze the packet underneath and you should see the plants popping out. Just do it very, very gently, very, very gently, and the plant should come out. There we go. That's it. So I'm just very, very handling the plants really, really carefully because we don't want to break them. If I tip my pot forward again, you can probably see what we're doing there. So the plants are just sitting in the soil, nestling in the soil gently. We're going to pack the soil all round about them because they need to have lots of soil around them so that the roots can absorb all the water and they've got enough nutrients round about them. So then we press down very, very gently with our fingers into the soil just to make sure that the soil gets round well. Okay, so if I bring my pot forward to the camera, you can probably see how well those are just nestling in. So I'm just going to press down very, very gently with my fingers round about because we don't want to crush the stems and we don't want to crush the roots. We need to be really, really careful. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 lots all the way round. So I'm going to do another little hole. Remember, we're going to very gently squeeze the bottom of the pot, of the little container that they come in, to loosely loosen the leaves and then very, very gently lift them over and put them into the soil. Again, very gently just firm the soil round about them to make sure that they're securely in. We just press it down to make sure the soil gets round all the roots, and then we're going to go again with the third one. Just loosen them very, very gently. Very, very gently. See how carefully we've got to do it, just so that we don't damage anything as much as you can. Here we go. Put them down into the soil, pressing this round about. There we go. So we've got all our plants nicely in the flower pot. I'll show you again with the camera. You can see they're all in there nicely. And then what we're going to do is, green beans grow up tall and they have little tendrils that wind round things as they grow. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that they've got something to hang on to as they grow up tall, otherwise they're going to flop over in the wind. So what we normally do is we'd normally use some garden canes. Okay, so we put the garden canes into the pot, making sure we don't put them anywhere near the roots of the plant, just around the edges of the pot. We're going to put 3 canes in, 1, 2, 3, like that, and then we'll bring them together at the top. So I'll have to bring my pot further down for you to see what I'm doing there. So if I bring my pot down onto the ground, you should be able to see the top of the canes, I think. No, you can't quite. Bring the canes together. You can just about see it if I do that. Bring them together like a wigwam, and we tie them together at the top. Just tie them together at the top. Okay, so bring them together and we tie them together with a bit of garden string or a bit of twine. Hold them all together nice and tight like that. There we go. And then what will happen is the beans, as they grow, will grow up the canes slowly but surely. And each week you'll be able to see, and I'll show you more as they grow up. I'll be able to show you more, and you'll be amazed at how quickly they grow. Okay, thank you. Bye.